Good morning, students. In our previous class, we saw Unit 1 Prose, Learning the Game, which is written by Sachin Tendulkar. Today, let me recall few important points from that lesson and then start the new poem. Sachin underwent great hardships to become a great cricketer. He has set many records in his career. When Sachin was 11 years old, he was taken to Achareka by Ajit, his brother. That time, Achareka was conducting a trial selection for his academy. Actually, he is conducting a summer camp. At first, Sachin had never batted in the nets. His attempt failed of his nervousness. So his first attempt failed of his nervousness. He was nervous because of the people around, and also the coach was examining him closely. So he got rejected. Because of Ajit, Sachin got another chance to play. And he played in the absence of coach and got selected for coaching. So this was an opportunity that transformed Sachin's life. The practice schedule was rigorous. He had to practice the day long, morning as well as evening, late evening. Sachin was studying in New English School, Mumbai. There they did not have cricket facilities. But Shardashram Vidya Mandir gave more importance to the game of cricket. It is the school where Ramakant Achareka was the cricket coach. One day, Achareka called Sachin's father and suggested him to change his school. His father allowed Sachin to change school if he was really serious about cricket. So Sachin is also willing to change his school. So his father didn't object it. So now he moved to new school. In his first year at Shardashram Vidya Mandir school, Sachin played 55 practice matches during summer break of 60 days. So he played 55 matches in 60 days. So playing for his school regularly helped him to learn the art of scoring big runs and batting for a long time. Achareka used to place a 1 rupee coin on top of the stumps and asked Sachin to bat. If Sachin remained not out, he can take the coin to keep it as a gift. So whenever Sachin tried to bunk practice sections, Achareka sir came to take him to the ground. So he never left Sachin bunked the practice sessions. So Achareka made Sachin to play rigorously. He got embarrassed. So sometimes Sachin got embarrassed while traveling by bus with his ugly jersey and by carrying a large kit bag. So after the practice, his jersey was full of mud and dirt. So he felt uncomfortable. In the bus, and also he is carrying a large kit bag. So these conductors used to get angry because of him. Achureka used to advise Sachin, if you practice hard enough, one day people from across the world would come and watch you play. What a wonderful words from a legend. Now let us start the poem. Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. About the author, Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American poet noted for his realistic descriptions of rural life. Robert Frost is a one who loves nature. So he loved to give explanations about the countryside in a natural way. Even though he lived in city, he loves to be in countryside. He was born on 26 March 1874. He spent his first 40 years as an unknown entity. So for first 40 years, he lived his life as an unknown person. He received 4 Pulitzer Prizes for poetry and was a special guest at President John F. Kennedy's inauguration. So he got annual prizes for poetry. Frost became a poetic force and the unofficial poet laureate of the United States. So he was honored with many awards by the United States. Some of his famous work are The Road Not Taken, West Running Brook, Mending Wall, After Apple Picking, etc. Glossary. Queer, strange or odd. Woods, an area of land covered with a thick growth of trees. Woods are otherwise known as forest. Harness, straps and fittings by which a horse is fastened to a cart or carriage. So straps, the horse, we used to have some straps over the horse to pull it. Frozen, in ice form, that is freeze. Sweep, to move fast and smoothly. Downy, soft and fluffy. It likes feathery or furry. You know what is fur and feather. Flake, a small piece of, stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Here woods means forest. So one day this poet, the author Robert Frost, is riding on a horse through the woods, through the forest. That time he enjoys the nature. He admires the beauty of the snowflakes. Let us see how naturalistic person Robert Frost was. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He says, the poet says that he knows to whom this forest belongs to. That means he knows the owner of the forest. And that man, the owner of the forest, is living in the nearby village. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. So, that owner of the forest is living in the nearby village. So, he will not even know that the poet has stopped in his forest to watch the forest filled with snow. So the poet stopped in the woods, in the forest, to enjoy the beauty of the forest because it is filled with snow. So it looks very beautiful. My little horse must think it queer. Queer means strange. So the poet stopped his horse in the middle of the forest. So the horse think it strange. He is thinking why the poet stopped in the middle of the forest. To stop without a farmhouse near. So this horse is seeing everywhere. There is no farmhouse near or around. The place is full of trees. So as it is a forest, the place is filled with trees and there is no one to see or talk to. So the horse felt it odd standing there. So the horse is puzzled. It doesn't know the reason the poet was standing in middle of the forest. There is no one in that place to talk to. So this horse felt strange. Between the woods and frozen lake. So the author is standing between the snow-filled woods and the frozen lake. So as it is very cold, okay, as it is winter season, the water in the lake had formed into ice. It is frozen. Okay, so one side the trees are filled with snow and other side the lake is frozen. So he is standing in between the snow-filled woods and the frozen lake. The forest is dark. As it is winter season, it got dark by evening itself. The darkest evening of the year. In fact, the poet says he is comparing the season. It is the darkest evening of the year. So the poet can feel its cold and dark before the night time. So as it is summer, the evening got dark very soon. Now the poet was enjoying the beauty of the woods, which is filled with snow and coolness of the day. So standing in the woods, in between the trees filled with snow and as well as frozen lake, he thinks it's too early to get dark. The poet wants to enjoy the beauty, but it is too dark to enjoy it. Okay, he gives his harness. He means the horse. The horse gives his harness bells a shake. So his harness is tied with a bell. So he is shaking it. So why he is shaking? The poet was admiring the forest, but the horse shakes its harness, jingling its bells, as if to ask the poet. So he wants to ask the poet a question, that why he stopped there in the woods by this time, whether he stopped here by mistake or else the poet may be forgetful or absent-minded. So, the horse want to ask him why he stopped there. So, he shook the harness. So, for a reason he shook the harness. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. Aside from jingling bells, aside from that sound, okay, of the horse, the other sounds heard by the poet are the soft blowing wind of and the falling of the snowflakes. As there is no other sound, the poet is able to listen the soft sound of the snowflakes. So as there is no vehicles or human beings around to make sound, this poet is able to listen to the wind, okay, the blowing of the wind, and as well as the sound of the snowflakes. So the snowflakes, downy means soft feathery flake. So the ice is like a soft, it is very soft. Even he is able to listen that sound. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. So the woods are lovely. It looks very beautiful and dark. The poet is quiet and silent, okay, listening to the beauty of the beauty of the woods, and the place is very quiet as there is no vehicles or human beings. The poet feels the peace in that place. So the poet feels to stay there a little longer and enjoy the woods. But it is too dark, and as well as, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. So during that time when he enjoys the beauty, he admires the beauty of the forest, the poet remembered that he had to travel a long distance to reach home. He had to go miles before sleep. So he has to travel to home. Here, the hidden meaning of this passage is the poet realized that he is having many responsibilities in his life. He is having many duties. Okay. To achieve his goal, he has to travel for a long distance in his life. He has to travel for a long. So he compares. Okay. Here in this line, sleep means eternal sleep. Eternal sleep means death. Okay. Which means he has to move forward to achieve his goal before death. So he has to travel long in his life to achieve his goal before death. By this poem, the poet asks us to concentrate on fulfilling our goals. We must not get distracted by the pleasures of life. So the poet is enjoying the nature. The nature distracts the poet's travel, isn't it? But in between, he realized his responsibilities. He remembered that he has to go to home to take rest and get up next morning to do his work. Like that, he also asks us to travel the life to achieve the goal. Let us read these poetic lines and answer the following questions. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Who does he refer to? He refers to the owner of the woods. So that owner of the wood is in nearby village, isn't it? So he is not able to see the poet stopping there in the woods. So here he refers to the owner of the woods. Identify the season with these lines. So the woods is filled up with snow. In which season the snow used to fall? It is winter season. The line, the woods fill up with snow, shows that it is winter season. Second question. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. So who is the speaker in the poem? Who is the speaker of the poem? So the speaker of the poem is the poet. So who is the poet? Robert Frost. So he himself is the speaker. So who is the speaker? Robert Frost. Why should the horse think it queer? There is no farmhouse nearby because he feels strange because there is no farmhouse nearby. But the poet, the rider, has stopped his horse there. So the horse felt that it is strange, that is queer. Pick out the rhyming words. So you know what is rhyming word? Rhyming word means the last word in the lines. Last word in the lines that have the same or similar ending sound. So the rhyme, the ending sound should be the same or similar. So in these lines, queer, near are the rhyming words. Third question. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. Whom does he refer to in these lines? He gives his harness bells a shake. So who is giving the shake? The horse. He gives. So who gives? The horse gives. So he refers to the horse. Why does he give his harness bells a shake? So why does that horse give bells a shake? So the poet has stopped his horse in between the woods. So this horse felt strange, isn't it? So he wants to ask the poet why he stopped in between the woods. For that reason, he shook the harness bells. Okay, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if the poet had stopped the horse there by mistake. Okay. How does the horse communicate with the poet? Does the horse able to talk? No. It can able to give sounds and as well as able to shake the harness, the bells. Okay. So the horse communicates with the poet by shaking the bells in the harness. Okay, so already we saw that he gives his bells a shake to ask. Okay, to ask. So he communicates by shaking its harness bells. Next question. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep. How are the woods? So in this line, the poet have mentioned that the woods are lovely, dark and deep. So the answer is the woods are lovely, dark and deep. Who does I refer to? I have promises to keep. So who is having promises to keep? Who is having duties and responsibilities? The poet, the author. So I refers to the poet. The poet have promises to keep. So the answer is the poet. What are the promises the speaker is talking about? So what are the promises? Does the speaker have responsibilities? Okay, he is having some duties, responsibilities to be fulfilled to achieve his goal. Okay, so the promises are the responsibilities the speaker has to fulfill. Okay, so he has to fulfill his responsibilities. So that is the fifth question. And miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. Why the poet has used the same line twice? So the question is why the poet is repeating the same lines. So we can able to understand whenever we stress something, when we stress something, we used to say it again and again. Like that, the poet stress on the fact that he has to fulfill his responsibilities before his death. Okay, so he has repeated the last line. So I already told you the hidden meaning of this line. Okay, is he has to fulfill his responsibilities before his death. So that is the answer. So he is stressing it. So he is giving importance for it. Explain miles to go before I sleep. Okay, it means that the journey of life has to fulfill the poet's responsibility. He wishes that he should fulfill them before his death. Okay, he has to travel along in his life to achieve his goal. He has to achieve his goal before his death. That is the meaning of the line, and miles to go before I sleep. I think you understood the poem. Thank you.